do the matrix way like I did.
Nope. Alright, you ready?
Yep. Why is it? Did you see a glitch like that?
It happens. My phone does that too. You copied and pasted the stuff?
No. Oh, you sent it to me over text message.
Alright, so just do it like that. That's perfect.
Ready? Let's do the intro.
You do the intro.
Just as we want to come in at y'all again. What's up, y'all?
Come on, girl. Before we have 30 minutes of editing again.
We'll be calling y'all another video.
And then I can pick up from there.
Alright. Alright, y'all. We back at it again. Coming at you with another video.
You guys,
Stop. It just don't feel right.
You said and. I don't know why you did that. You are killing me right now. Just say we're coming at y'all with another video and stop. And shut your trap.
Why can't I say that?
Oh my god. Okay.
Sup, y'all? We coming to y'all with another video.
We got like 4 or 5 questions that we're gonna be interviewing each other about, getting married,
Because there's times, even when you're good, that you just want to do that.
Did you ever think that you would get married at 20 years old?
Heck no.
I don't mean it in a bad way either. It's just that when I saw my life at 20, I was so young. I would probably be away at school, finally out of my parents' house, get to do whatever the heck I want to do whenever I want to do it. And it just seems as though, like, if somebody had told me at 18 you'll be married at 20, I would have been like, no, because I got other things to do. I wanted to get married, but it just seemed so young.
By the way, y'all might be asking and wondering, where's Bristol? She's sleeping right now, so we're listening out for her.
Baby monitor on.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we're trying to
keep them Z's going.
If y'all see her later in this video, you know why.
Exactly.
Alright.
Did you ever think you'd get married at 22?
I had a feeling that I might get married young because I don't know. I'm a lover, okay? And
Aww.
it's true. And I knew that if I was gonna be messing around talking to a girl, that I wouldn't be able to do it without seeing the future. And because of how relationships tended to be pretty temporary, I wasn't about that life. So I didn't really meander around and stuff like that. So, yeah. So when I saw Bree in that way, finally, where it's just like, dang, this girl.
Speaking of that, we need to make a video about
We'll
that.
talk about that, how I ended up making the decision. But, when I finally ended up seeing Bree, like, yeah, she is definitely that wifey material. I knew if I was gonna be good, that it couldn't be long.
Well.
Alright, next question. Bristen's here. So, she's still sleepy. Hey, baby. But, she was being real fussy and whatnot. So, she's gonna join us for the rest of this video. Some of this stuff you might have to cover your ears, okay? How did you picture your life before we were a thing?
Oh, wow. Before me and Justin became a thing, I was kind of on this, track of, I was ready to, be grown, quote unquote. Every person kind of goes through that, where they want to get out their parents' house, they want to do whatever they want to do. I saw myself going to school. At the time, I hadn't even decided on my major yet. I knew I wanted to do something medical, but I didn't know exactly what it was. I actually wanted to kind of go to a third world country, live there.
Are you spinning up? Yes, she is.
So I saw myself living in another country, and I wanted to kind of live in an orphanage and kind of work there. I really love kids, so I wanted to work with kids. And I just saw myself being a traveler, just going around, living my life and kind of just doing whatever until maybe I bumped into the person that I wanted to be with. But even then, I didn't see myself falling in love. I really did see myself more so being independent until I was ready to kind of okay, I'm ready for another stage of my life. But it may not have even been marriage. So what did you picture your life like before we were a thing?
Well, if you go back to me being a teenager, early on as a teenager, I still swore that I was going to the NBA.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
It ain't nothing wrong with that, but it's just it ain't nothing wrong with that. But in high school, I was really focused on college, on playing college basketball. I was watching the Fab Five documentary. I had y'all probably can't picture it now, but I had my fade with the grooves in the sides. I did it myself. I was looking fresh to death. You know what I'm saying? I was hooking my homies up with the same cuts. We was wearing black socks. You feel me? Oh my God. But anyway, we'll have to look through some photos. But that's how you smiling at your daddy. Yeah, he like, them socks. Why you had on them church socks, daddy? You know they was a Fat Five. All right. Anyway, so I was I wanted to go to the NBA, and then I really was focused on playing college basketball. So by the time I was like 16, 17, I'm like, all right, I may not go to the NBA, but I'm a dang for sure get a scholarship for basketball. And I had a couple opportunities to do some stuff, and things fell through or whatnot. Another story. But other than that, I pictured going to college, you know, experiencing the college life, you know, just being free with my friends, stuff like that. You know, that's kind of how I pictured it.
So you kind of still saw yourself maybe on the trajectory of it.
I think so.
But not just this year.
I can't really say I could put an age on it. It was more like a stage of readiness. I knew that if I didn't commit myself to like a relationship, that I thought when I went to college that I could be wildin'. So, next question for Bree. What were some of your drawbacks to getting married?
I was feeling like I had so much life to live and so many things to do and to discover. Marriage seemed cool, but at the end of the day, I was fine, just me by myself. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to do so much, and I felt like that if I got married and I became somebody's wife, my life would have to be committed to that person and not, you know, revolve around the things I wanted to do. And okay, yeah, somebody could flat out say it's selfishness. Yeah, because I felt like that I had put in my time with my family. I had helped with all my other siblings. I'm the oldest of like a lot of kids. Shout out to y'all, love y'all. Anyway, so I put in my time with them. I had worked hard, and so now it was time for me to do me. And getting married felt like that I would just once again be giving my life to somebody else and not being able to do what I wanted to truly do before anything serious like that. And when you get married, you know, you kind of got to consider the person, think about things, what they're going to do to affect them. And so it's just like, I just want to think about me. It's all me. Like, you remember, have you seen The Game Plan when The Rock, when he met the girl?
It's like, it's all me. It's all me.
So what were some of your drawbacks about getting married? Yo.
My drawbacks. I think my drawbacks was thinking about drama. Like infidelity and like, you know, like they say the biggest arguments is about money, and then people got they got the 3 rings of marriage that they call it. They say there's the engagement ring, there's the wedding ring, and then the suffer ring. And I'm like, I ain't about that life. So it's true, people say it. So I was kind of like, yo, am I being too ambitious? You know, different married people are like, man, you thinking really romantically right now, but the first year going by, you really gonna see the person for who they are. So that was definitely some drawbacks for me.
We're here.
A last question. If you could do it again, aka get married again, same way or whatever, or if you could do it again, period, would you do anything differently? It's not a trick question, so, you know, we ain't gonna fight later. We might.
Like, what do you mean? You said
on the video, we gotta edit it out. All right, go.
Alright, man. It's like yes and no. I feel like the butterfly effect thing. There's a part of me, like there's certain things that we're dealing with now, like, you know, I don't have a car. And, you know, I finished college, which was good. I got an associate's degree. So there are certain things like that I feel like maybe if I had waited to do those things, then maybe I could have more to offer in our relationship, you know?
Getting deep.
Those are the things that kind of like, when I first got married, those are the things that were on my mind. Maybe I would have traveled a few more places. And wedding-wise, I would have slowed it down because we got married like we planned our wedding within like 4 months. That was extremely stressful. But for the most part, I'm pretty satisfied with the way everything went.
If I could change anything, it's a lot different from hers actually. Some things intertie. Before we were engaged, like a little right before that time, 2015 was a year of change and drama for us. That's a whole other thing. So really, like our lives completely changed due to a drastic event of 2015. And some of y'all may know about. And for the rest of y'all,
mind your business. I'm just
mind your
playing. I'm
business.
just playing.
I mean, it is what
might
it is.
one day.
We'll probably end up telling it, but like, there's other people we gotta consider in that story.
Yeah.
But anyways, for me, I think because of the drama that we had experienced, it was so much change going on that for her, coming from a different stage of life than me, she needed to slow down more, and just take things in, like she said, as an individual. Me, you know, I grew up a little differently. You know, my relationship, my parents were a little different, so there were certain liberties I had, even as a male, I guess, that she didn't have, and we didn't really get that until our counseling during engagement. So the main thing that I would change is stashing up more, because then that could have been her car. We just knew we loved each other. We just knew out of everything that we had that this was gonna last.
And it got real too, because like when, you know, marriage did come up, there were times when it was kind of like, yeah, and I was the one that was like, but, and then it'd be like, well, you know, you was all cool before, what's going on? And it really took me, like, I didn't even know what was going on. It was just the fact that, like, all I know is that I was ready then, but I'm not anymore. I don't know what it is, but I'm just not. And it was kind of like, and it did take some time for us to kind of like work through those issues of trying to figure out like, well, like, did you just want me because I seemed like something good to you? And all of a sudden, now that you...
And this is pre-engagement.
You know, live your life and do whatever you want to do, I'm not as good, or, you know, I don't look as pleasing. And it wasn't that. It was just I was still trying to find myself and trying to, like, be solid with who I was as an individual before I took a step like that.
You know what's crazy, though? Through all the craziness...
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked when I look at where we at now. And I'm like...
You've come a long way.
And it's only been a year and change. And I think some of the most beautiful part of our marriage, to me, is not being complete in what we want to do and having to trust each other and love each other through the process of putting each other first. Because with that, the beauty of that journey, once we get to our destinations, we're going to be able to look back on loyalty, look back on love, look back on struggle, look back on youth.
Yeah, and realize that, like, we actually, you know, we've made it through. We've tried and true. I can definitely say that it probably would have been harder for me to get married had I established a lot of things in my life.
I definitely think so.
I don't need this. Like, I did this on my own. I did this and I did this. You coming along? What you go over? You know, and I think it would have definitely changed my views on it. But another note, just thinking about like all the life-changing events that happened within 2015, us going through that made me see you and really realize that you love me. Because that was the time right then and there that where you could have just been like, all right, peace out, we got time for this, love you, but I'm gonna catch you later. And that would have really broke my heart, and it would have shattered me, and I probably would be a man hater, real talk. But the fact that he stayed there, he stayed true and like continued to be in a relationship with me, continued even as I was kind of like showing doubts in our relationship and wanting to do other things and trying to like, you know, just be like, I don't know, I just want to try my life out. He still was just kind of like, well, what the heck do you mean? But I'm going to still be here for you. Like, he wrote me so many letters, like, telling me and supporting certain decisions, like, even when I was about to consider, like, leaving the state. He was like, if you do that, I'll support you, you know? He was like, I'll probably be there within the next couple months, but I'll support you.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. I knew what I wanted, y'all. You can't look love in the face and spit on it. You neglecting your necessities right now. I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? So I got a lot of love for Brie, and this struggle proved it. Like, she all that in a bag of chips. I said that at 18 years old, and I'm like,
salt and vinegar with the extra sauce.
With the extra, just with the chef. What you doing? Like,
Boom.
at the end of the day, it's all love. It's all love.
Oh, okay.
Kristen is crying in disapproval. Give me a freaking... See, I should have to ask you. I don't even want it.
I got got a better one.
No, give me the cheek.
Give me a kiss.
I was gonna steal it anyway. I was gonna go like this. Give me a kiss on the cheek. Yeah. We got hope. We're not living a second version of our lives. We love what we're doing. We got plans. And like you said, the butterfly effect. Like if we didn't choose this option, perhaps we wouldn't have had the joy of the spontaneous things that are happening in our lives.
Last words. We'll see y'all again. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And like hit us up with some ideas if you got some things you want to see us do.
What age do you see yourself getting married? Or do you see yourself getting married
At all?
Well, we appreciate you guys watching. Justin and Brianna out.